talking about our lived experiences. And
Indeed we are.
well, just trying to think of since we did our brief update. Well, I'll talk about things we did over the weekend. But welcome everyone to episode 15
Wow.
of what is this? Millennial Mom Thoughts.
What's up? What's up? What's up? I liked the little ad lib there. That was great.
Well, changing it up. Episode
Mm.
15, maybe every five, I'll just say something weird or different. No, that's not true. I'll say something weird or different every time.
Yeah, that's
That's more like it.
unavoidable.
So,
So, how's life?
um, I'm chilly, but I'm not complaining because I like it. I like to sleep cold.
Mhm.
Brian disagrees. It will be a forever battle. I quite literally would sleep with the window open from now until March,
Oh my
whatever.
gosh.
Yeah, even in like sub-zero. I just like it.
Yeah.
It's not fun to get out of bed
hmm
once it's that cold,
hmm
but to be under all those blankets, and I have a lot of blankets that I
hmm
strategically place.
Yeah.
Big fan.
See, and
Uh,
I've been getting, it's like, I don't remember what I wear to bed anymore. Like, what do I do? Am I still in shorts and t-shirt with like all the
mm,
blankets? Yeah, but I kind of like my cozy
yeah,
sweats. But that's kind of been my battle this week. Then I wake up hot. Then is it take off the
yeah.
blanket? Is it
Well,
so,
no, you don't get rid of the
it's
blankets.
it's a journey. I also just reacquainted with an old blanket that's been at my parents'
Oh,
for a while. And
was this part of the clean out
it was
purge?
part of the clean out
There you
purge.
go.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this was actually a blanket from an ex. So I was like, is it okay? Because it's like a really nice blanket.
It's totally fine. It's been
It
long
is.
enough.
Yeah,
It's been
no,
long
we're
enough.
buds. It's fine. It's
Yeah,
just a
it holds
cozy
no
blanket.
meaning. It's just a blanket now.
It is. And Oscar loves it because Oscar loves a good fuzzy blanket. So he is just
Oh, yeah.
doing, we call it pumpies, making biscuits, the little
Oh,
kneading
the
thing that cats do.
paws. Yep, yep.
Yeah, so he has been making pumpies nonstop, and I love it.
I
Oscar,
real
by the way, this is
Oh,
Oscar's birth week. We
wow.
celebrate his birthday on Halloween because it was late October, would have been his approximate birthday. So we
Okay.
celebrate all the animals' birthdays. Well, I guess not. June's we know the exact date, but Cabbage we celebrate on the 4th of July. And Oscar we celebrate on Halloween. And he is going to be 9? Is
Oh,
my cat
wow.
9 years old, Jordan?
Oh,
2016?
oh, dude.
Holy.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I
I think I
know.
have to go get into my fuzzy blanket. I'm sorry. Podcast over. Snuggle
Oh
time.
no. Comfort
Get out of
yourself.
the big bed. Wow. Wow. Yeah. 9-year-old Oscar.
Yeah, my puppy, who's
Hmm.
no longer a puppy, not Indy,
Hmm.
my first dog that I got
Hmm.
by myself that uh, lives with my parents, Pawnee, aka Ponster the Monster. I got her in 2014. Or
Wow.
wait, was it 2013? Oh shoot. Oh, now I've forgotten. It's either 2013 or 2014. I think it was 2014.
In
Yeah,
other words, she is not a puppy.
she
No.
is not a puppy, but she is
What
still
a
spunky. I
Oh,
just
that's
saw her this
wonderful.
weekend.
Yeah.
Indy is currently vacationing at my parents'
Oh,
right now.
nice.
Again, she did it this summer because over the summer, when the deck was being
Mhm.
worked on, that we thought would be the week-ish long process,
Uh-huh.
well, that started in July, and folks, we're at the end of October, and that deck is not done.
Is it happening though?
Well,
Supposedly, allegedly.
there was some progress
Okay.
made on Saturday while I was out of town, and Brian, uh, maybe it was Friday and Saturday or one of them. Anyways, Brian had band this weekend,
hmm
so I took Camden and Lily to Indy, but some progress was made. I don't know what it is because I just see one change. The middle board has been put in, which they had to cut. Oh, I don't even want to go into it. I just cannot believe that this started in July, and I'll even round up. I'll say August, the beginning of August, because that's kind of really when the work started.
Yeah.
The demo was at the end of July, and then I think someone started. Anyways, So August, September, October. This is a basic deck. This is nothing that is complex. It was take down what we had and build it again because it's falling apart. And we were told this is easy. This is an easy job. It'll be about a week. 3 months later,
My
here we are. This is going
gosh.
to go into November. Like I am losing my mind, but
Yeah. At least November is the very best month of all. So,
no, why not December?
because my birthday's not in December.
Well, I mean, birthday, but I don't say March is the very best month of all, and I'm born in
That's because it's
March.
not.
Hey, wait.
Didn't we already have this discussion?
Yeah,
March
we did.
sucks.
Yeah, I
Team
know.
November all the way. No,
I
I
don't know
am.
what my favorite month is, but
It's okay.
yes, I am aware of said birthday,
No, no, no. And
but
I'm just excited for a cozy season ahead. Like
I
I wish it
know.
wasn't quite as snappy of a cold. Like it's not like I would love a few more like
See,
60
I'm
degree
okay
days.
with it.
Gradually, let's get us into, and I think we maybe have a little bit of that still this week. But I feel like this last week, just with the wind, all of a sudden it was like,
Yeah, the wind
oh, I
is
guess I should wear a coat when it's 40 degrees out. It was a bad choice on my part. Like, a
the sun
sweater
is
is not
misleading
enough. I should
though.
have brought my fuzzy blanket.
Yeah,
But anyway, you were in Indy this weekend. How was your weekend?
it was wonderful. Lots of
Mhm.
Halloween activities. We went to, well, now it's called Newfields, but I still call
Mhm.
it the IMA, the
Mhm.
Indianapolis Museum of Art. They do harvest nights, and maybe I brought it up. There's just all these pumpkins.
Mhm.
I mean, spoiler alert, most of them that are quote unquote carved are fake, but it's so they can reuse them.
What?
Yeah, plenty are real, but
Mhm.
a lot of the ones that cover the grounds because they're all lit up, and I would imagine that many pumpkins, you would want to reuse them year after year. So, but it's really pretty. Um, and we had a great time. This year we walked through the Eli Lilly house.
Mm.
Last year Camden did not want to go because we had gone the year before and
Oh,
he was too spooked out. It's not scary. It's not like a haunted
yeah.
house. It's just they do create it. Like there was a library room where a book or book pages, thousands of book pages were like scattered all over the ceiling
Oh,
and hanging and like in a tornado shape. It was
huh.
like a tornado had gone through
Yeah.
some book ghost. I don't know.
Ooh.
That was cool. But yeah, it was fun. He got to wear his costume multiple times.
Yay.
Big fan of that.
Hmm.
Got to see our cousins. That was fun. Went to the park. Had a just a lovely time.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Good.
What
Violet
about you?
also, she broke out the costume again last night, by which I mean
Nice.
I broke out the costume for the
Right.
junior high trick or treat
Oh,
situation. So
yeah,
we
I'm
met up
I'm
with
bummed that I missed that
cousins
because that
and
was fun when I went.
yeah, it is cute. I'd say the highlight is when we walked in the doors and we got there pretty early because it started at 5. I was like, if we can get there like pretty close to when it starts so that we can get in, get through, and then get home for bath time. I guess we didn't have a bath last night, but dinner and bedtime and the whole
Yeah.
routine. Um, and so you could tell, they had two little greeters at the doors, and she was just kind of getting warmed up into it, like I've been working on my script. Hi, welcome to and she was kind of like going through it. And like by the time we crossed the door at like hi, and then she keeps, she has to tell us all the things like trick or treating is upstairs. There's snacks and coloring down here, and there's bouncy houses in the gym for the little ones for the little kids, big one for the big kids, and there are bath houses both upstairs and downstairs. Like bathhouses.
Can we turn this
So,
into a spa day for,
so
I mean,
that's,
that's not a bad idea.
my suspicion is that she's been watching K-pop Demon Hunters because the bathhouse is like a thing there.
Oh, is
But
that a thing?
but
Okay.
it reminded me then of when a an old family friend, little kid, we were going to a Riverman hockey game together, and she wanted to know if there was going to be food and asked like if there was a snack parlor, which is
Oh,
what she
very
called the
fancy.
concession stand. Yeah. She's like,
Yes.
will there be a snack parlor?
Gosh, now I want a snack parlor. That's a
Uh-huh.
great idea.
I know, I love it. I love it. Snack
Where's
parlor, bathhouse, just building my dream home over here.
Yeah.
Um,
I hope it has a nice back deck. That's what I
yes.
hope.
Or the dream home that I cannot afford because I chose a career in education. Hey, that seems like
Oh,
a good
there
topic
we
for our
go.
podcast.
Yeah.
Ay, ay, ay. No, I don't know.
Well,
Anything else? Did we do anything else this weekend? We had a great visit with family yesterday, came up, and I made a bunch of soup, and then Mitch put the soup in the cabinet, not realizing that the pot was still full of soup and not
no.
cleaned. Yeah, that was the worst delivery of the story I could have done. I've told
Wait a
it a
minute.
couple
Did
times
did
and
he
could have
leave
like
it in
really
there
built it
for a
up.
long time?
So his
Wouldn't you feel
mom
the weight of the soup?
no, because it's the Dutch oven, so it's really heavy. I 100% would have done the same thing. His mom is amazing, and every time like they're up here, I turn my back, and all of a sudden, all the dishes are done. All the, like
Oh,
like on and but they don't know where the dishes go, so she always does the dishes, and then there's often a lot sitting out
sure.
on the counter, and I made this like big pot of soup for everyone. And then also because I usually do some sort of big batch thing on the weekend. So we have
Yeah.
some food to get us into the week. And
Oh no, I would have cried.
yeah, I see I didn't. I just laughed immediately. I was like, that's hilarious because it's such a Helen thing to do. And for once it wasn't me. But yeah,
How
he said
how
that he
long
because
was the soup in the cupboard?
a little over 24 hours because I
Oh,
was going to
okay.
get my like
Unsafe temperature.
no, yeah, like it was foamy. It was
Oh
oh,
no.
he can hear me. I just got a text.
That he's being called
I
out for the
guess
soup.
yeah. I
That's
guess
funny.
yeah. I wasn't even planning on sharing this, but I did. I'm sorry.
No shade, no shade. We've all been there. I
Mhm.
just yeah, what was the last thing that I put in the pantry? And I caught I might have put milk. I might have put the
Nice.
carton of milk.
Yeah.
And I caught it. I was like, "Oh no, what am I doing?" But like just muscle memory, it was like, "Okay, I open the pantry and this goes
Yeah.
back in." It's like,
Yep.
"Nope, that's milk. That goes in the fridge." We've all been there.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
no.
funny.
So that was honestly that was probably the highlight of my weekend was actually that's a lie. We had many highlights. Violet is just being so cute. But that was perhaps the hardest I laughed was when I was going to get my lunch ready for tomorrow and was like, "Did we really eat all that soup?" And he was
Oh
on his way upstairs
no.
and kind of hollered down like, "Look in the cabinet."
Oh
Because
no.
the lid was on it. The lid was on it, and all these
Yeah.
other clean dishes were sitting right next to it. So he's just putting stuff away and
Oh
put it in
man.
there. So, yeah, the chickpea noodle soup is no more.
Womp
But
womp.
yeah,
Well,
I also made focaccia. That
oh,
survived, and that is the
hey,
bomb. So
that's
good.
nice.
Yeah,
Make some of that for us.
I will.
Drop it off.
Okay. Tonight?
Yes,
Okay.
after we record.
Okay.
Get
I,
over there, make the bread, drive it over here.
wait, where am I going first? Get over where?
I don't know.
To,
I don't know what I said.
to the snack parlor? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
And
talk about
moving on.
what you want to be when you grew up.
I was thinking about this earlier. I think it was a veterinarian. I feel like that sounds generic, but I just liked animals.
Mhm.
And one of my first, well, it wasn't a job, it was volunteering first. I volunteered at like this animal boarding place. It might have been sixth grade. I'm pretty sure it was sixth grade. Gosh, sixth or seventh. I think it was six. And the story that is a family story, long-standing family story. We were about ready to go on vacation, and I was volunteering at this animal boarding place, and they would sometimes get pets in there to adopt.
Mhm.
And there was a little kitten, cutest kitten,
Oh.
and I told my parents about it. I was like, "There's this kitten that is needing to be adopted," and my parents, being thinking they were smart, said, "Well, if that kitten is there when we get back from vacation, we can adopt it." You know what I put on that kitten's card that was like, "Adopt me"?
Oh no.
Adopted, will pick up on the date when we return.
Jordan.
Yeah, yeah, because I wanted that cat. That gives you a little glimpse into my my rule bending brain. My
That's
yeah.
amazing. So did you
Uh,
get the cat?
we did. Her name was
Oh,
Tiggy. She lived 13 or 14 years.
amazing.
13, maybe 13. Yeah, she was
Aw,
great.
Tiggy.
Little Tiggy Winkle. And she was a great cat.
That's
And I got
why
her
you got
because
her.
I outsmarted my smart parents. But
Yeah. And
if
they
she's still
they
there,
knew like from the get like once you
no.
adopted or when did you
I
tell
revealed
them?
that I
Right
don't
now.
remember. No,
This is
no.
breaking news.
No, they knew that it's a story that has been
Yeah,
told many,
yeah,
many times. Yeah, it might have been afterwards, like right after we got her. And I mean, we loved her, so it
yeah.
wasn't like we
Yeah,
were upset
of
about it. But
course.
hey, you promised.
Yeah.
And guess what? She's still there.
Look at you. Maybe
Yeah,
that's
I'm
why you're such a good mom. You know all the tricks because you did them all as a
because I did
kid.
them myself. Yeah, that's the my dad's DNA, my dad's Ogle DNA of just trying to get around the system sometimes. Not totally breaking rules, but not totally
I love
following
it.
them either.
Uh-huh.
So,
Uh-huh.
what'd
Yeah.
you want to be when you grew up?
I did have a not very generic job, I would say. I wanted to split my time between being a harmonica player, like
Wow,
professional harmonica player, and a McDonald's worker. And I
interesting.
would live in the McDonald's play place. And That was
Okay. And what
that was the
happened when
plan.
you turned 16 in the street? No, I was thinking you were like a teenager and saying this. Uh,
Yes, no, this was me being a kid with a harmonica who went to
yeah.
McDonald's one time and fell
Gosh,
in
the
love.
play places were
Although
fun back
they
then,
were
weren't they?
fun, except I hated the like ropey part, when it was kind of like cross
Mm,
hatched. I
okay.
don't know what you would call it. It was like a tunnel that had like opening gaps, like your foot could go through it.
Yeah,
Like it was safe, but
vaguely
I
remembering.
didn't think it was very safe. And so I would do everything to avoid those. Like I'd go up and then I'd go down and run over to the other side and go up until I reached that tunnel. Then I'd go down and around. But I wanted to live, there was like that kind of corner section that was had like a kind of
Okay.
benches you could sit on and like a table in the middle.
I assume
At
this
least
was
is
at
what mine was like.
Morton, like Morton had one of
Yes.
those.
Yep. But I might
Okay.
have been saying that earlier even too. Because I think I don't know if the Shanahan McDonald's had a play place. I don't remember there being one. When I told my dad that my French fry was on fire and got in trouble a little bit. That is like a good early memory is dipping my French fry in ketchup and being like, my French fry's on fire. And he was like, don't yell that.
Oh, you were at
I
McDonald's
was
when
at
you
yeah.
I was like, why is that a problem? Oh,
But I
because
don't
yeah,
remember
you
there
yelled
being a play
fire in a
place.
building.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
So anyway, yeah, probably Morton. At
Okay.
least 3 to 5 years old, I'd say that was the plan. And then all through grade school, I did want to be a teacher. Like I always played school in the basement
Yes.
after school, came home with all my dolls and taught them everything I learned that day. Had fake class lists of names that I
Oh man, you were in it.
still remember, like Kiko and Kamiko Zaire. They were twins. Um, but
Wow.
and like every year I'd be like, man, first grade was awesome. I want to be a first grade teacher. Wow, I loved second grade. I want to be a second grade teacher because that's how you think it
Yeah,
works as a
yeah.
kid. And then it wasn't until I got to junior high that I was like, ugh, junior high sucks. I can't
Oh
deal with
yeah.
these kids. I don't want to be a teacher. I can't handle this. So that's when I switched to meteorologist. I think journalist for a bit, then
Okay.
meteorologist. But then high school, I think when I started taking science classes and was like, okay,
Pass.
meteorology is not just being Chuck Collins on TV. Like, I think I would be great at that part. I don't think I want to take all
Got to know the
the,
facts
yeah,
first. Yeah.
yeah. Even though I feel like I still have that curiosity of like, I want to know how it works. I
Sure.
didn't want to have to learn. I don't
Live
know.
and breathe it all
Exactly.
day long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I liked more of the storytelling. And so that's why I was kind of like, maybe still journalism, but also I've had some really great teachers. I think I want to give teaching a go.
Yeah.
So I feel like I knew for like at least junior, senior year, pretty certainly I'd be an English major and then kind of see where that would
Okay.
take me. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking that I also had an idea of wanting to do journalism, and it might have been I took a newspaper class in junior high, and I remember
Mhm.
really liking that. Like we would find stories, and it's like our eighth grade paper or whatever. And
Yeah. I also
but
did the
I liked
newspaper for high.
the computer part of it. I liked
Mm,
the laying out the things and the putting together like where does the image go and
hmm.
like the layout side, the design. So,
Yeah.
which probably makes sense because my dad's a graphic designer.
Well, and
So,
that's what I was
you
gonna
know,
say too, that I should note that my mom was an English teacher and my
right.
dad was a journalist. So
Yeah.
it's like I don't know anything else. And it is kind of fun, I thought I went the education route, but now I kind of split my time between teaching
Yeah.
and also still a kind of journalism role in my
Yeah.
staff writing. So
Doing it all.
still not doing weather reports though, other than I feel like,
There's still
well,
time.
there is still time. And I
Would
do
you like
open,
us to leave space on this
well, we
podcast for
kind of
you to
already
do a
do. We always talk about the
official?
weather, and I always like open my class, that first minute or so where it's just me small talking and trying to get them to
Yeah.
start listening to me. It's like, yeah, so it's pretty chilly out there today. Yeah, well, it looks like it might rain tomorrow. Like I honestly,
But you need to
like
start dropping the real terms. Like there's some kind of a
the dew point.
tropical air
Mm,
warm
yeah,
front
yeah.
moving from the
Well, see,
westerly
that's the part I
quadrant.
didn't learn, Jordan.
Well, you have time. You have
Okay.
time to learn it
I
now.
don't really have anything else going on right now, so
No, you don't. Just plug it into Chat GPT, Helen. It'll tell you.
no, thank you.
Pass. Pass on Chat GPT.
Past GPT.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Um,
But I think I've kind of skipped ahead on all of our that was my full scope of things I wanted to be growing up into what I ultimately have become. But I want to hear kind of what jobs we had along the way.
yeah, I've had a lot.
Yeah, I see that.
I've had a
And now I'm
lot.
like, I've had a good handful. I'll try to make sure I can remember all of mine, but you go first. What jobs did you have from the volunteering at the animal hospital?
Yeah, and then
Then,
I actually worked at
okay.
so I worked at an animal boarding place and then I or volunteered at an animal boarding place and then worked at an animal hospital in high school. I don't remember how long I did it, but it was before I could drive, so it must have been maybe just freshman and sophomore year. And my mom started to come with me after an incident um because the other gal that or girl that worked with me also was in high school, but she was either a junior or senior.
Mm.
And on the weekend, like on Sunday when they were closed, it was just the two of us in there.
Wow.
And the problem was that was an animal hospital that had all kinds of animal drugs because they like did surgeries and stuff. And
Oh.
so my mom was
Oh.
thinking, there are two just teenage girls, and we'd have to leave the back door open or,
Yeah.
cracked open because we would all the dogs that were being
I
boarded
see.
there or
Yeah.
on medical reasons or whatever,
Mm.
would be there. So we'd take them out and walk them and feed them and clean all that stuff. So my mom was thinking like
Anybody
anybody
could,
could just
yeah.
go in there and it's like, hey, no one's gonna stop these two like two teenage girls aren't gonna be able to stop somebody. So she started coming with me, unpaid. And we got certainly a lot done. I don't think the other girl liked it. It's like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
so this kid's mom is with her,
Uh-huh.
but whatever.
No, that's smart, mom, though. You're
But
right.
yeah, I wouldn't have thought of that.
Uh-uh.
And well, I think it all started because she left once. Like she just left me there. It was just me. And I told my mom, I was like, I was just here alone. Like it kind of
Hmm.
creeped me out. It's like I'm all by myself.
Yeah.
Like what if something happened? I think they were all definitely got in trouble because she wasn't supposed to just leave me. Anyways,
Hmm.
moving on. So I had that, and then I think that at the same time, some of these overlap because I
Hmm.
have had quite a few jobs. I was at the zoo and then festivals and fairs
Okay.
and things. I did temporary airbrush
It's
tattoos.
amazing.
And I will never forget that a woman at the zoo, she was rolled up in her wheelchair and she said to me, "Honey, tattoo my stumps." Because she was amputated both
Yeah.
legs above the knee.
Wow.
And it was just, I was young. It was junior
Uh-huh.
high or high school. And I was like, I don't know what to do with this information, but okay.
I thought they
I,
were gonna ask for a tramp stamp. So you know what?
I
That's
did have plenty of
oh,
those.
you did.
Yeah. And
And
I
you did
had,
them?
uh, on the lower back, if they had like a tank top on, it
Yeah.
made sense. It was like, otherwise these are just going to rub off.
Yeah.
I remember plenty of creepy men asking me to
Blah.
tattoo their backsides,
Yeah.
and I just would come up with the line like you couldn't pay me enough, and then kind of like laugh, and it was like
Uh-huh.
really gross.
Uh-huh.
So I did that for a while. Um, then yeah, I was a waitress with my best friend Sarah at this little restaurant not too far down the street from my parents' house. I did vacation Bible school, like elementary school
Nice.
age
That was a paid
kids.
gig?
Oh, you know what? Probably not. Yeah, I was, now that you're saying that, no, probably not. Yeah, it was probably just
I
volunteer.
don't know.
I
You were
was trying to,
paid in the I don't know.
I don't know.
Because I
Yeah,
also volunteered,
that would have
taught
been
Sunday school
volunteer.
for a while. I think I
Yep.
shared that recently of getting sent to the corner.
Yeah, you got sent to the
Mhm.
corner.
Mhm.
Like you as
I,
the student or as the
my
teacher?
my friend who was the other teacher who was mad at
Oh,
me and
yeah, that's right. Yep. But now you guys are pen pals.
yes, who I
Yes,
still
got it.
haven't written back to.
Yeah, you'll get there.
But
It's all right. You can talk about this. Um, your memory of being sent to the corner.
uh-huh.
Yeah, that must have been volunteer. Anyways, okay, so
Sorry, go
that
on.
doesn't count. Then I did data entry
Wow.
for a home building company because it was called CP Morgan. Several of my family like my aunts and my grandma worked there, and so I guess by default, then I worked there for a little while.
Nepotism, love it.
Totally. Um, then I worked at a place called World Market. Have you
Hmm.
ever heard of World
I
Market?
have.
I I think the closest one here is up in Chicago.
Yeah.
If
Didn't
they are
we
still.
maybe used to have one in Peoria? Maybe it was
Oh,
something
really?
different, but I feel like
Okay.
maybe.
Well, it was kind of like, did you ever have a Pier 1? Do you know what that is? I used to say it
Okay,
was
then
like,
it's different. It's not just a grocery store.
no.
Okay,
I
then
used to
that's
say it's Pier 1 like with a grocery, but
okay.
not like cold things like milk, like international foods,
Yeah, okay. Okay.
but just shelf stable
Okay,
stuff.
so that's not what we had, but
Yeah. And beer and wine. They
mhm.
sold a lot of beer and wine. And I did that for right out of college, and I'll get to my why I got there right out of college. But I was the POS coordinator,
Yeah, I
real
know all
title.
about POSs. I worked in
Yeah,
the box office,
there
so
you go.
I love
Point
it.
point of sale, in case you're
Uh-huh.
unfamiliar, not piece of. Thanks a lot, people. Point of sale
POS
coordinators.
coordinator. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Slash sales associate slash moved up to I moved up. Started doing like the nightly bookkeeping stuff
Dang.
just because I didn't want to be out on the floor doing all the
Yeah.
straightening and stuff. That was boring after everybody left, or customers left, and it was just us cleaning. And then what did I do? Oh, then I was a youth supervisor at like a residential facility for pregnant and parenting teen moms.
Wow.
And then again, this one was unpaid, but intern at a maximum security juvenile detention center
Hmm.
in Muncie, Indiana.
Jerry Gergich's favorite place to vacation.
Who is that?
Parks and Recreation.
Oh, I was like, do I know this person? Oh, gosh, I haven't watched Parks and Rec for so long. I never
It's
finished the series. I should.
it's just like the best epitomizing character trait is that
Funcy
he
Muncie.
loves fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Did that. Then I was an inclusion
Mm.
facilitator for I think I had multiple kids. This was a really short-term job. Students with special needs at a before and after school program at an elementary school. Then when I was in grad school, I did internships at an elementary and intermediate and then a high school, but the high school was only for like 2 weeks because there's a whole story there. But a lady lied to my supervisor about what my tasks would be.
Hmm.
That was a whole thing. Then I was a registrar at Bishop Chatard. And then after being a registrar for it was in the middle of a school year, a lady left. I don't know why she left in like November
Hmm.
and was like, I'm done. She'd been there a long
Oh,
time. And then I took over. And then the following spring, the next school year, one of the school counselors retired. And I was
nice.
like, I'm here. And then
Slide on in.
I slid on in. And then I was a school counselor at Bishop Chatard, then East Peoria, then Morton. And now, fast forward to
Da, da, da,
today,
da, da,
mom
da.
slash academic success coach.
Woohoo!
So
Amazing.
a lot of a
Yeah,
lot of
I have
different jobs.
so many follow-up questions I could ask, but I'll
Yeah.
save. I don't know. I'm so curious about so many of these.
Say
But
you're welcome to pick one. They all I have
okay,
stories for all of them.
tell me about being a youth supervisor for pregnant and parenting teen girls.
So this was in Noblesville, Indiana, and I'm blanking on the name. I think it was like Hamilton County Youth Services Bureau, something like that. I forget the exact name. But it was kind of like being like a house mom
Mm,
kind of thing. It was I would make weekly
mm,
menus and we would cook meals. And I think that was probably the first time I changed a diaper because,
uh-huh.
some of the girls had babies that
Yeah.
lived with them in the house and would drive them in the van to school, work, activities. So there was like childcare involved. It was I mean, from what I remember, there the girls had families,
That's what I was
but
gonna ask. Yeah,
it
like
was
what
either
got
like an
them there?
unsafe or maybe they were in foster care, but for whatever reason, or maybe domestic violence, something,
Mm-hmm.
they weren't able to be in their
Mm-hmm.
home.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I remember some of them would have family come visit or they would go on visits.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely was not in any kind of they had counseling that they would go to, and it was interesting to me
Mm-hmm.
just because I had my bachelor's degree in psychology and then I was starting grad school.
Mm.
Is that right? Yeah, at the time that I was doing that job. But the hours were rough because they were like
Mm.
12-hour shifts.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and as that it was really, they always had a hard time like around holidays. It's like, well,
Mm.
12 hours and I'm sorry, I'm not missing Christmas Eve. Like,
Mm-hmm.
anyways, and it was a minimum wage job, but
Yeah.
um, I certainly learned a lot, like basically
Yeah.
being with teen girls for 12 hours a day
Mm-hmm.
and um,
When you were probably not that far
not
off
that much
yourself.
older. Well,
And the,
and I don't think she'll mind me saying this, but my cousin,
mm.
um, she had a baby when she was a teenager,
Mm.
and it was at the same time that I was
Okay.
working at this place. I was also watching a lot of Teen Mom. Did you ever watch that
Oh,
show? So
yes,
it
of
felt
course I
like
did.
teenage
Yes.
moms were
I was
just
just
like
thinking
present,
Juno probably came out around that time.
probably. And it's just like I was just inundated with Teen Mom
Mm,
things. But um, yeah, maybe that was more of an introduction to just those teenage years and just
mm,
interacting. I had certainly cousins that were teens, but
mm-hmm.
just to kind of see their lives and then see how
Yeah.
important therapy was
Mm-hmm.
and just the serious like mental health concerns
Mm-hmm.
that were present and anyways, um
Yeah. No,
it
and
was an,
that's
it was an interesting job.
it sounds like it. And just the timing of it too, because you had mentioned there was a reason why right out of college you were working at the world market, right?
Oh,
Because you got your bachelor's in psychology, and
yeah.
then at what point did you realize you were wanted to do the master's, and what kind of drew you
Well,
into?
it was I graduated and then it was like, okay, now what?
Mm-hmm.
Because I was applying for different jobs and it was like nobody, crickets. And it was really discouraging. And then I was back living at home, which was weird because I had just had 4 years of, I mean, the dorm, I guess, doesn't totally count, but the last 2 years I lived off campus and then I come home and it's like, now what? I think my mom may have even found the application because she probably
Mm.
shopped there. Anyways, so I applied and I showed up on time, and that was basically like, okay, you got
You
it.
got it. Yeah.
And but after working retail for so long, I did that for
Mm-hmm.
basically a year. It's like, oh, I really don't like doing, I don't want
Yeah.
to do this much longer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and so then I applied to grad school. So
Mm-hmm.
working a retail just kid out of college minimum
Mm-hmm.
wage. I just thought, well, I'm not making that much money. I mean, at the time, it probably felt like a lot
Yeah. Yeah.
because
But
I
it's not
wasn't
a
paying rent. I
mm-hmm.
was in my parents' house. So I was able to save money that way. But like, oh, if I want to do things. Like this
Yeah.
is so, but that working that job full time, and going to grad school, like that paid for grad school. So
Yeah. Wow.
no,
Yeah.
I
And
didn't
your
have to.
grads, you have two masters, correct?
Well, no, I
Or
have one. I
one.
started and got
Okay.
almost all the way through marriage and family
That's
therapy.
right. Okay. That's
I
fine.
stopped at I didn't do the second internship.
Mm,
Um, I did like the graduate practicum, like they had in-house therapy
mm,
clinic basically. And so I was a student counselor and I just did not like it.
mm.
Um, and then switched to school
That's
after
right. That's right.
fast forward
Okay.
to the
Yeah.
high school that I was at for two
Yes.
weeks because the
Okay.
lady lied to my supervisor. It's like,
Uh-huh.
oh, well, I actually kind of like being in a
Mm,
school. What's this all about? Switched to school counseling and it's like,
hmm
this is where
That's
I'm
it.
supposed to be.
Wow. Do you know what it was about that made you feel that that's where you belonged?
It was still a blend of the mental health
Yeah.
piece, but it wasn't just that. I
Mm-hmm.
think I, at the time, just could not picture session after session after session with people
Mm,
and mostly couples that were like,
mm-hmm.
should we get a divorce? Or I want to divorce him and
Mm-hmm.
she doesn't want to divorce me, whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm, 24,
Mm-hmm.
unmarried, going through grad school, living at my parents' house. Like, I don't like this. But I liked that school had, for lack of a better word, like the paperwork side. Like I
Yeah, that's what I was
liked
thinking,
that
all the
there was,
bookkeeping and things that you
yeah,
were,
there were
yeah.
tasks. I didn't realize how much of that
Yeah.
was actually in school counseling and
Yeah.
took away from the face-to-face
Mm-hmm.
student interactions. But um, I also liked teaching other people things. So there was still, you know, for a little bit, I think I've shared before, I thought I would be an elementary school teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And they
That's
were
right.
like, these
Yeah.
are lesson plans. And I was like, nope.
Nope.
Then I ended up having to still make lesson plans,
Yeah.
even in school counseling for doing classroom lessons. But it wasn't obviously every single day.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just kind of this perfect blend of like,
Yeah.
okay, I had customer service background, I had teaching sort of background, and then had worked with teenagers, and then the mental health piece with learning all about family systems and counseling and all that. It's like, oh, this is kind of a perfect blend of all these different pieces that I think I'm good at
Mm-hmm.
and liked and felt fulfilled by. So
Oh, I love
there,
that.
there it was.
What a journey.
Yeah. But each job or volunteering, like even like the maximum security detention center, which was an internship, was like that was an interesting experience.
I'm sure.
They did like psychological evaluations and
Okay.
I was part of the intake interviews with
Mm-hmm.
families. So I would
Mm-hmm.
do those over the phone. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
man, people got a lot of stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
What's this all
Wow.
about?
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure the airbrush tattoo artist as
Oh,
well. That
totally.
really, but it's people skill. It's right.
It is.
It's
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 people
100%.
skills.
That's
It's
what.
smiling when you want to say, I hate
Uh-huh.
everything about
Uh-huh.
you. But doing
Yeah.
it in a very polite
Yes.
and tailored way. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, should I go through my
Yes.
history? That's what I
What's your
you have
history?
a beautiful prepared list. I wish I did because I feel like I'm gonna forget something. But aside from babysitting, because I think
Oh, yeah.
babysitting
Yeah.
was probably the first thing I did that someone paid me to do.
I didn't think about
Um,
that.
my first like sustained job though, or like, thing position was a softball umpire. So
Oh,
I was an umpire I was still in like junior high when I started, so it was like the younger elementary girls. And I
okay.
worked my way up as high as I could go without being patched, which is like
Oh,
getting
I don't know what that
like doing a
means.
training, getting the official certification to do
Okay.
like the travel league and stuff. And I almost did, but never did. So umpire for several summers.
Did
Um,
anyone ever yell at you for a bad call?
Yes, all the
Man,
time. And if you can
even in the
imagine,
youth sports,
even in the youth sports, even when it's clearly just a kid behind
yeah,
the plate
really.
as
How old? It's like,
well.
how old were you?
Yeah, no,
Good
like
grief.
this was like probably seventh through maybe 10th grade. I feel like it was several summers. I don't remember the exact years.
Wow.
But yes, no, lots of tears were shed behind my little
That is wild.
umping mask because yes,
Calm
even
down,
I
parents.
take it very seriously. Um, But then what else? My next real deal job was as a, sorry, I'm getting distracted by a baby monitor, but I think she's okay. Head's back down. Um, Next real job then was as a box office employee for the Peoria Chiefs.
Oh,
Um, and I worked that job for, I want to say 8 summers. Um,
wow. That's very
most,
consistent.
they really, yeah, I mean, so that was
Yeah.
through from the time I had a license, so that would have been like summer between sophomore to junior year of high school through all of college, plus I think the summer after 2017 would have been my last season with them. And the last couple of years I was a box office supervisor, which
Oh,
meant that I
hey.
didn't always have to be at the window trying to shout at people through a glass window.
Yeah.
Um, and then got to like stand in the back and boss people around a bit, quote unquote. I was not really suited because most of the employees were teachers because it's the perfect summer job, like the
Yeah.
season runs from April to September basically. So you see a
Okay.
lot of teachers. Um, but yeah, it was very good for me. But as a supervisor, I didn't get a pay raise or anything like that. The only perk was
Of
that
course.
for working like the full length of games, I would get a meal voucher.
I was just gonna say you
So
got a hot dog.
so for those summers, I got and they had like pretty extensive concessions. It's kind of like there some switches happened over the time I was there, and for that first year at least of supervising, it was when they had like the most like lots and lots of options. But eating that many hot dogs
Oh
and
my
whatever it
gosh.
was, I was kind of like, I can't do this every night, so I'm gonna start getting the black bean burger. I'm gonna start getting the
Oh,
veggie taco bowl.
yes.
And then started realizing like, oh, I feel so much better when I'm, and that's
Yeah.
oddly how I became a vegetarian. Like it
No
was never a
way.
decision of like I'm done with meat, but just slowly over the course of that
Like I
summer,
don't feel
it was like
good.
I don't I feel so much better. Yeah, I didn't realize how
Yeah.
icky meat made me feel, but this is like what my body craves, and
Huh.
I guess we're doing it. Thanks, Dozer Park.
What does that say about the hot dogs?
Right. Yes, yes, yes. We did get free hot dog. Well, it was dollar hot dog, ice cream sandwich, and soda
Oh,
on Wednesdays, and I think our
yeah.
vouchers were for like $10. So we
Oh
would
no. You
we
could
would
really go
well we would pull
crazy.
it together and share it with the other employees. We'd be like, "Okay, I'll go get 10 hot dogs, you go get 10 ice cream sandwiches," and then we'd
Oh
share them.
wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's sweet.
It was. It was very,
Camaraderie.
yeah, exactly. So anyway, that was my longest standing part-time job. There was one summer I worked in a nursing home in the memory ward. And that was, I'd say, at one small point where I was considering like a health career, thinking about going into something health related.
You just
And
reminded me of a job
oh,
I forgot. So,
nice. Well,
yep.
that one experience was enough to teach me like this is not for me. And it was granted like
Same.
a very difficult context because
Yeah.
it was in their dementia ward and
Oh,
I was
that's
not
hard.
certi like I wasn't a CNA or anything. I was just
Right.
activities coordinator. So, all of these residents would ask me for help and ask me to do all these things that I
Oh,
couldn't do and
yeah.
they couldn't understand that. So it was really hard and it was the summer after my grandma had passed away. And
Oh
somehow
man.
I thought that that was the right move. This was
Yeah.
between like I think my last summer before college. And I kind
Okay.
of thought like this is a way to honor her and
Well, that's
like
very
give
sweet.
back because she was in a facility that like was amazing for her. But yeah, that unfortunately was not like
No.
every lunch break I would go out in my car and cry for just like weeks on
Oh,
end. It was really hard. It,
that's miserable.
I mean, yeah,
It took an
no,
emotional toll.
it did. I left it with maybe not immediately, but in retrospect, like so much respect for people in
Yeah.
healthcare in
Yeah.
any context, but
Yeah.
especially working with older patients. It's like, wow, wow. Yeah, so good eye-opening exposure. but
Totally.
enough to teach me this is not the path for me. Um, and then got to college and had emailed the supervisor at the box office in the Doudna, the Fine Arts Center at EIU, and just sent an email saying, "Hi, I've worked in a baseball ballpark box office for the last however many summers. Was wondering if there were any positions in your box office."
Yeah.
And he got right back to me. I was like, "Well, we just might be able to make that happen. Let's meet." Because so there weren't like any actually posted positions. I just somehow
What
had the
an
audacity to
initiative.
take, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's, I guess, that's
And
the
did it
worst
pan
thing they can
out?
say. It 100% panned out.
There you
So
go.
I worked there all through college during the school year, which was a great gig because for the most part it was quiet. There's just one
Yeah.
person in a little office while getting to do the best people watching because that building is basically
Oh.
mirrors for walls. Like it's a really cool
Oh.
building. It's one of the more recent ones on campus, if not still the most recently constructed building. But yeah, mirrors. So you could like see
Could
everyone
see
and
everybody.
they did not know that you were just watching their little lives play out. So yeah, loved that. Um, and then let's see. So that was during college. By this point, I started doing, my clinical work for education. There was one summer that I interned at a state park, that was
Okay.
down around Charleston. And that also did not really pan out. I kind of left early because I was like, I have run out of stuff to do. The whole
Oh.
point was like I was supposed to do programming to like get more people to visit the park. But then I quickly learned like why no one was visiting the park. Like having
Oh
a
no.
story hour for kids isn't gonna change that. It's just it was a weird location, like too far out of town, and
Okay.
it was during the summer, so you don't get the college traffic. And it was a great park though. That's probably when I started trail running because I could
Oh,
get
okay.
paid to
It's stuck
hike
with
and
you.
run
Yeah.
and be like, I'm checking the trails. So in many ways, it was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Um, Gosh, I feel like I'm forgetting something at this point, Jordan, but by then that would have taken me into student teaching. So
Okay.
I first student taught in Little Leroy, then I went abroad to the Netherlands, and then that was my plane touchdown back in Illinois. I am officially done, like had already walked in graduation in the spring, then student taught in the fall. And I am coming home to, I guess, live with my parents. I had tried to apply for some jobs in the fall, but nothing had panned out by that point. Um, so I remember it was a either a Saturday or Sunday when I landed, got home, didn't know what I was gonna do with my life, where I was going, but I knew that I wanted a cat. And so that was actually the following, I want to say it was a Monday that I went to an adoption event at PetSmart, and that's when I got Oscar.
Well, there
So
you
I got
go.
well, okay, so this would have been the weekend because that was maybe Sunday, I got my cat. Monday, there was a job fair for Peoria Public Schools. And I had already
Okay.
put in my application for this mid-year hire. And when I walked into the job fair, I saw the table set up for Peoria High. I walked right up. I distinctly remember they had a football helmet sitting on the table because they had won the, I think, state champion, yeah, that year, which was like a big deal. And
Yeah.
something about that football helmet just like gave me the confidence to be like, "Hello, my name is Helen Plevka. I applied for this job. I would love to talk further." And he was like, "Oh, great. You've already applied? You're qualified? Hold on, let me call the principal."
You're
And
hired.
basically, yep. So he called the
Wow.
principal. They said, "Can you go do a tour?" And I drove straight from the job fair to the high school. They walked me around and made an offer the
Wild.
next day. So that was my first teaching job as a mid-year hire. So started in January, with the new
Okay.
semester. Quickly realized why that position was open. They just
Mm,
like it had been filled by a long-term sub for most of that
okay.
year. I mean, an incredible experience. I loved teaching in that context, because I felt like every single day I could walk out of that building knowing that I had been an important figure in someone's life, you know?
Yeah,
Um,
isn't that a wild thought?
yes. And it's that way I learned every day of teaching,
Yeah,
like no matter where you are. But I think especially as a first teaching experience, one that was so different from any of the clinical student
sure.
teaching experiences I had had, even teaching abroad. I think that's what gave me the confidence to be like, yeah, I taught in the second most populous city in the Netherlands and like,
Yeah,
in a country that's not even my own. So sure, I could teach in this school that's very different from my own high school experience.
right.
But yeah, it was hard. It's any first year teaching is hard. Mid-year hire
Yeah.
is
Oh,
incredibly challenging.
yeah. Things have already been
But
established.
and I
Here you come
had
rolling in.
yeah, but I loved it and I thought like yeah, I see myself here like for the long haul. I loved my apartment in Peoria. I got this cute little old
Oh,
apartment or like house, I had the first floor across the street from Dingledine, across the street from the music building
oh, I don't know
on
what that
Bradley's
is.
campus, like right in
Okay.
all the old historic stuff. So that was great. But then got a call one day from Indiana University, which was one of the grad schools that I had applied to in that period of like, what am I doing with life?
Yeah.
And I, got an offer, including a full assistantship, like fully covered. And I thought, like, yeah, that's the dream. That was like the A goal. So I guess I better do it. And glad that I did. Always look at that moment in my life, though, of like, what if I had
Mm-hmm.
stayed there teaching? What if I hadn't gone to grad school? But I did move to Indiana and was planning to stay there for the PhD, but the program just wasn't quite for me or didn't quite like align with the goals I was setting for myself. I still cared really deeply about teaching and it was much more of a research focused
Yeah.
program, and I didn't feel like I was being supported or like challenged to grow as an educator either. Um, so then during this time also though, I worked my other part-time job at a winery. So I worked at Oliver Winery.
Oh, I know Oliver.
Um,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
which was
I'd pass that exit.
uh,
I was in Bloomington a lot in
mhm.
undergrad. I basically there were people at IU, like friends, my best friend went there, and some of her friends thought I went to IU
Amazing.
because it was like
Yeah.
I was there every
Yeah.
weekend.
And that was me the first year after I left my grad program too. I kept coming back to like go to all the department events and they're like, you don't even go here. What are you doing at our picnic? I was like,
She
yeah,
doesn't
but
even
these are
go
my
here.
friends. Yeah. Um, but yeah, in that like the second year I was in the program, I actually got a call from Morton saying, "Hey, we have an English teacher opening. Would you like to interview?" Because I had applied to like a library position, like the a
Oh,
part-time library aide or something. Again, in
okay.
that fall of like, what am I doing with my life? Apply, apply,
Yeah.
apply. Never heard
Yeah.
anything back, but there was like a place on the application to,
Check if you're
here's my
interested in others.
certifications,
Yeah.
check if you're interested. And I didn't think that I was because I knew that this retirement was happening. And I remember a couple people had even said, like, hey, are you going to come take Liz Redman's job? And I was like, no, I don't think so. I don't think that's.
Okay.
But then getting the call, it's like, well, I guess I can go interview. And it also aligned with my spring break. So I really didn't have any excuses to
Right.
to not go do it. And then, yeah, moment I walked back into high school, I was like, oh, yeah, nope. This is once again like it just had that feeling of like this is the
It's gonna
next
be the right
thing.
fit right
Yeah,
now.
this is exactly the right fit right now, and that's it exactly because it
Yeah.
wasn't for forever, and I kind
Right.
of knew that then too. Like I still cared deeply about my research, was ultimately able to do both by teaching and then doing my PhD at ISU. Um, but then also kind of reached the point where it's like, okay, I think I'm ready to devote myself fully to
Yeah.
to my academic work and teaching at that level. And now I still get to exist in the secondary world in a way by teaching high school teachers, future high school teachers, while also getting to teach college freshmen.
Yeah.
And in many ways, I love what my life looks like right now as far as kind of cobbling together a full-time job between two
Sure.
adjuncts and a writing. because it gives me a lot of flexibility. But I am also definitely ready for the full-time thing to
Are you?
to figure itself
Yeah.
out. But what that will be is still a very open door, and that's I feel like I've been in this for a number of years now, really ever since I left Morton and committed to grad school full
Hmm.
time, and then and after that I've kind of been nonstop applying to things and waiting for the right thing to work out, which is very emotionally taxing.
Yes,
And
yes, it
yeah,
is.
so,
Yeah, I do.
but at the same time, I am in a place right now where I'm very grateful for what has worked out. And I just have to keep believing that the next thing is it's gonna happen. I'll find that feeling again. So
Yeah.
just enjoying where I'm at now. Does that answer your question? Just kidding. I don't even know what
What
question I'm
was the
talking about. And
question?
what was the question? Yes, I was a softball umpire. Was my first
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear the different journeys. And I
Mm-hmm.
think so, since I'm still actively, obviously just individually, but actively working with junior high and high school
Mm-hmm.
students, the college and career stuff still comes up, even if it's like, well, we're working on, a buyout. Even just tonight, my one of my freshmen that I meet with had a folder of like different college
Mm.
information. And he's like, can we work on this? Now, we didn't get to it, but to be fair, we had other things that were more pressing. I said, when there's a chance to talk about just this, when you don't have something
Mm-hmm.
else that's kind of, I don't want to say more important. It's all important, but more immediate.
Immediate. Yeah.
Yeah, more urgency to it. Then of course we can talk about college
Mm-hmm.
stuff. But I just love getting students to think about like even if your major is X, you can still be interested in other things and
Mm-hmm.
do other things and take pieces of your major and also do different jobs,
Mm-hmm.
connecting with others, making connections with people, talking to people
Mm-hmm.
is really important because you never know if that's going to be the door to the next
Yeah.
thing that you're going to do.
It's so true.
Um,
I
and
I
there,
rem
yeah.
Oh, I was just
What?
gonna say, so my undergrad degree, I was English major with secondary teacher certification, music minor, and Spanish minor. And I distinctly remember my first advising meeting, like where you're taught, they
Hmm.
you don't have an assigned advisor yet. It's just like the general freshman advisors. And he stopped me before I could say that I wanted to do a third minor in journalism. Because that
Interesting.
was I somehow thought that that was possible to do
Okay.
it all, right? But
But you just had different
I
interests
did
and wanted to pursue
exactly, and
them.
I'm still doing it all. That's the thing. It's
Yeah.
like, and that's what I try to remind people too. In this day and age, the versatility of a degree, an English degree, absolutely, but just a degree in the humanities in general. Like you're just
Yeah.
learning so many critical skills that really are broadly applicable. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
It's learning how to be human, it's learning how to connect with others, it's learning how to make sense of the world.
Which is
So,
complicated. Yeah, I'm not sure even I think I've just primarily been a listener. Like I've just been interested in
mhm,
listening to people share about themselves and like, well, why are they like this? And then would ask questions. Which then, kind of led me down that path. But s- education specifically, I think it's almost kind of funny that I am or went into education because I did not really enjoy school and was
mhm,
not a super strong student. And then when I think back to the instances I do remember, which are very few, of meeting with my school counselor or
mm,
in college with an advisor, they really weren't memorable.
mm,
And like at Carmel, Carmel was huge.
yeah.
And now they're like 5,000 something. But when I was there, I think it was maybe just shy of 4,000. Um, I could not tell you my school counselor's name and probably
Mm,
met with her 4 times total. I don't know, like one time a year. I
mhm.
honestly don't remember. My sister remembers her experience, which was her counselor telling her like you'll never get into Purdue,
Oh my
and my
gosh.
my sister is a Purdue grad, so
Yeah.
Um,
Boo, I
but
think is
it
what I'm
was,
supposed to say.
yeah,
But I also am
I
kind of
know.
saying that about IU in many ways right now, but I
Oh,
won't get
well,
into that. But the
yeah,
football team's great.
yeah, I think it was just because my experiences maybe weren't super memorable. And
Mm,
then once I got into the major, I thought, this is actually something that can make a difference.
mm,
And then it's when I started to care about not being called a guidance counselor once I was
hmm.
in it, because there is a difference. And there's also just a perception,
Yeah.
like this perceived idea when you hear guidance counselor versus school counselor.
Mm,
I used to make a much bigger deal about it. I've kind of calmed down, but I do appreciate when I'm called a school counselor and
yeah.
not a guidance counselor. Again, just the idea is like kind of how it's portrayed in the media of like the guidance counselor sits behind their desk and just really just clocks in, clocks out, isn't really doing anything, maybe hands you a packet every once in a while on doing a job, and
Mm,
it's like, see ya. Whereas the school counselor, it's much more comprehensive and, and you have to have a master's degree.
mm,
A guidance counselor did not. So
mm.
the education level is different. But all that to say, I just thought
Yeah.
I could probably just like with you with teaching, like you said, like I could impact someone's life,
Hmm.
hopefully for the better. Long term. Hopefully it's not
Yes.
you're never getting it. I never ever told a student that.
Yeah.
We'd have realistic conversations if
Yeah.
someone's like, I want to go to Harvard.
Yeah.
I never said you can't get in, but I would say, well, let's look up the requirements. Let's see where you're at. If
Mm.
that's a goal of yours, that's great.
What do we need to do to
Here's some
get there?
things that need
Yeah.
to change. And,
Yeah.
you not being in any
Mm,
honors or AP classes or ever having taken the C or ACT or SAT yet, like that's,
mm.
anyways, all those things. But I
Yes.
just liked meeting with students and
Yeah.
planning for their futures. That
Hmm.
was that was impactful for me and hopefully impactful for some. I know some
100%.
tuned it out, but
Yeah. But it's still, you never know
yeah,
what
you
little
never know.
changes make the big changes.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is, it's kind of that, I don't know if this is metacognitive, but like the how our own journeys
Yeah.
in a way, like just the little things, the people who impacted us along the way. Also, like we are some of those little puzzle pieces and
Yeah,
and
which is
and
wild to think
so
about.
many, yeah, it is. But it's beautiful. And I think
It
that's
is.
that's really what I love about being in education is just, yeah,
Human
and human
connection.
connection, making making a difference,
Yeah.
tiny and big. So I think we've been talking for quite a while at
Oh,
this
I
point. I have
know.
zero, I never actually look at the time, but I is there anything else we wanted to cover today? Because I feel like there are so many offshoots of
Well, I know I'm
many
looking at the
things,
other
but no.
question of what were we like as first year educators versus now.
Uh-huh.
It's like that could be a long conversation.
Yes, which I think it
Um,
should be, but
because it's
it
different.
it is.
I would
Yes.
imagine it's different for both of us.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, maybe that can
But
be incorporated into
yeah,
another episode.
another episode of.
Yeah. And hopefully listening to us talk about our past jobs isn't like, well, what does that have to do with screen time and AI and why aren't they talking about this?
Uh,
Because this is our journey to get to where we are today. And so now
Absolutely. It's
you
our
get a
millennial
glimpse.
mom thoughts.
It's our millennial mom thoughts, a glimpse into what created these millennial moms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
100%. All right.
Well, with that, you already know what I'm going to say. Even if it's chilly, people, get your jacket on, get a hat on, get outside, go touch that grass. It might be a little damp in the morning if you go out in the morning because of the dew.
Mm.
I don't know. And there's
Ah,
sometimes
yes,
there's
the
the
dew
dew.
point.
I was hoping that you would get, yeah,
It took me a minute.
your weather.
Sorry. I fumbled it a
I
bit, but I
just threw
got
it at you.
there.
I'm sorry.
It's
I should
okay.
have given
It's
you more
okay.
warning. Helen, I'm gonna give you a weather
Here I
related.
go. Here I go.
Go
Here I go.
outside.
It's in
Here
my
I
head
go.
all
Here I
the
go.
time.
Here I go
The
again.
number of times that goes in my own head where I'm like, here I go. Here I go.
I was right there with you.
No, thank you.
I know that one too.
You picked that one right up.
Millennial moms. Yeah. Get
Anyway,
outside, touch
thank
that
you.
grass.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah.
Podcast music by Brian Spickelmeyer. Jordan Spickelmeyer does social media. I'm Helen Plevka-Jones, and I edit the audio. Hooray!